So guys, today's topic is going to be personality styles. And the reason I have this book is because Jesse and I were taught that this is a really good book to read in order to understand personality styles for your clients. So that is the topic for today, and why is that important, and you know, why should we understand that as salespeople?
Mm-hmm.
So Jesse and I, this is, you know, during our coaching years that we were in coaching, this is one of the things that we learned early on. And, you know, I can say personally, if I look, I've probably listed, you know, I've sold almost 500 homes or somewhere around that, but I've listed probably 400 in some homes. And why is that important? Why is that relevant? Because we were taught, and I've found this to be true, that most people fit into one of four different main personality styles. And the reason that it's important to understand that is because, you know, everybody's different. We all know everybody has a different personality, right, Jesse?
True, 100%.
But if you can break that down very easily and simply into four different categories and learn how to interact with that person as a salesperson, one-on-one, your ratio for being able to close that client or close that deal exponentially increases.
Right.
For a number of reasons. Right, Jesse?
Yep, 100%.
Okay. So how does this work? First of all, what are the four personality styles, Jesse?
Well, we have the driver personality. We have the expressive personality. We have the analytical personality and amiable personality.
That's four. Driver, expressive, analytical, and amiable, right?
So powerful, yeah.
Okay. So you can read this book and you can get all the ins and outs and the details on it. We're going to go over like a 30,000 foot view of how this works and how this helps you sell more homes. All right. So Jesse, we've got the four personality styles. As we know, as real estate agents, we're always interacting with people. We should be talking to a number of people each day. If we're prospecting like I do every day and we're talking to 20 different people, chances are if we roll the dice or we look at all the numbers at the end of the day, week, year, 25% of everybody you talk to is going to fit, you know, into one different category. So everybody's going to fit into a different category, but one out of every four is probably going to go into one of them. So if I'm talking to somebody, first of all, Jesse, what personality style are you? It's important to know what you are as well, because that's going to help you interacting with the different types as well. Jesse, what are you?
I am an expressive primarily.
Okay.
And I say
You're
primarily
expressive.
because under pressure, I can become another personality.
And what's that?
Driver.
Okay. So that's a great point, Jesse. We were taught that your normal style, or what do they call it? I saw in here, your
dominant. I think it's like your dominant.
Yeah, you're dominant. You're dominant.
What do you default to, right? Like, what are you, and under a normal day, what's your typical behavior
Your
like?
typical and default personality style is one thing, but when you're stressed out, a lot of people have or lean towards another personality style. And I found that to be true for myself. My dominant person, my normal personality style is driver. Okay. Jesse's is expressive. When I get under stress, I turn a little bit analytical. Okay. So what does that mean from my perspective? What does that mean in my opinion? How does that look? So a driver, let's talk about what a driver is as far as their traits. And I've got the book pulled out right here. So I'm going to read a little bit read out of the book because it's a lot easier to explain. So the typical traits for a driver, characteristics. Okay, that's analytical. One second here.
And also, we talk about this in our book, by the way, you guys.
Yep, it's in our book too. All right, so here are the actions for being more tell-directed on the assertiveness scale. All right, so understanding what a driver is, they're going to want you to get to the point, kind of like I'm not doing right now. I'm a little frustrated with myself because I'm not getting to the point. I'm a little stressed, so I'm overanalyzing looking at this book right now. Okay, does that make sense? I'd like to get to the point and already know this information, just tell it to you and say, hey, this is how you do it. This is what you do. So there you go. Pull that up. Thank you, Jesse. Driver, objective focused. I want to get to the point, get things done, be clear and concise. Let me see. Okay, don't even tell me what you're going to do to sell the house. What's my house going to sell for? Jesse, what's this house going to sell for?
I'm thinking in between $299 and
thinking in between $299. Okay, what's it gonna? What are you going to be able to sell this for?
$299 to $350. Bottom line.
Okay, that's kind of a broad scale. Can you narrow that down a little bit? At the end, you've been
Around
doing this for a while, right, Jesse?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you had a magic ball, what do you think the house will sell for? What am I walking? What is the sale price going to be approximately?
At least $320.
$320. I can live with that. Okay.
Let's sign the contract.
Where do I sign?
Yeah, bottom line.
All right, I've got to go to a meeting. So, all right, let's do that. So, a driver wants to get to the point, impatient, decisive, direct, short answers, proud of achievements. Jesse, I've got to go play golf right now. We're #1 in the league. I can't be late. Why don't you email that paperwork to me, okay?
Yeah. They're going to make you feel uncomfortable, right? Most of the time, a driver's going to be pushing you that you are going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel like, right? That's normal.
So what are you saying, Jesse? I make people feel uncomfortable?
No, when
they're okay with conflict, I'm okay with that.
Yes. So they're going to push you, all right? Because they're in a hurry. Get it over with. Bottom line, I can make a decision. So.
And what, guys? Okay, we're talking about this. You're saying, well, you guys are freaky, man. What are you talking about here? But here's real world experience. Okay, I'm on the phone with somebody, and they are very, hey, this is Steve with eXp Realty. I noticed your house came off the market today. I was just curious, when do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home? And the guy says, I'm not selling my home. Okay, I can appreciate that. You're not selling your home. If you were to sell your home, where are you going to go next? Listen, man, the home didn't sell. The agent sucked. I got to move on. I got to figure out what to do. Great. That's exactly why people hire me. I specialize in getting homes like yours sold. Are you available at 4 o'clock? I'll be over in the neighborhood at 4. Does that work for you?
Only
You're
takes
going to
10
have
minutes.
a lot better response from him than if you say, oh, man, okay, well, the home didn't sell. Did they do an open house? The guy's going to hang up the phone. All right. So if you can pick up initially on what their personality style is, here's another example. Jesse, I'm on the phone. You're an expressive, and I'm the agent. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Steve with eXp Realty. I noticed that your house came off the market today, and I was just curious, did your plans to sell the house change, or are you just looking for the right agent to help you get the home sold now?
Oh, no, we really want to sell. Well, you said EXP. I saw that the open house signs for that the other day. The EXP, is that what you said?
Yes, great. So you saw the EXP sign.
Yeah.
So where are you moving to when you sell this home?
Oh my goodness. We've been talking about that for 5 years.
Okay, so stop right there. What did I do wrong? You're an expressive. Here's my experience. If you know somebody's expressive and you pick up on that right away, if they're all la-di-da and they want to talk about the weather and EXP and the signs, they're an expressive, okay? They have they're creative thinkers, low attention to detail. Well, I don't know if that's true. Healthy ego, competitive, ambitious, high energy, and they're also controlling, by the way. All right. But if you pick up on somebody that's expressive, it's going to be somebody that really, maybe they're artsy, maybe they just like to talk a lot is the best way to put it. They're very energetic. We all know these people. I guarantee everybody on here talks to one person a day that's expressive. So if they're expressive, the most important thing that you can do is what? Listen to what these freaks have to say. They want to talk your ear off. I cannot tell you how many listings I've taken and sold because the person was expressive and they talked your freaking ear off, and every other agent that didn't know what the hell they're doing hung up the phone or got off the call. Does it hurt me as a driver to listen to an expressive tell me their fucking story, life story? Yes. It kills me. It breaks me down. Every fiber of my being cringes and wants to run away. But I take a deep breath and I listen to what they have to say, because to them, that is so freaking important, okay? Yes, you want to eventually get them to get to the point and proceed on with the script and set the appointment. But, you know, if you want to make money, and if you're calling expired, canceled, or anybody you're talking to, on average, a typical deal is going to bring about anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 into your bank account. I'm willing to listen to somebody for a half hour if it means I'm going to make 10 grand.
And if
That's
you're
just
following
me.
the script, right, you're asking questions anyway, so you're going to lead them to a decision. For example, an expressive, they're quick decision makers. They'll be like, yeah, you can come over. They want you to come over probably.
Yep, you still want to follow the script, but listening is very important. And, you know, you also want to adapt to their style a little bit. I don't want to be a driver and an asshole like I normally am. If I'm talking to an expressive, I want to listen to them and say, oh yeah, you know, EXP is really a great company to work for. We're doing so well in the area because of, you know, our adaptation to technology. That's what we're all about. Don't you agree? I mean, everybody's on the internet buying homes now, so we thought we'd jump on board and, you know, take over that space. You know, whatever, you know. Okay. So expressive is going to be somebody that's very energetic, talkative, and you need to listen to them. A driver, you want to get to the point. All they want to do is sell their house. You always want to try to adapt. And this is one thing that I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but this is one thing that I noticed that I naturally do. I'm very good at mirroring and matching somebody's personality and them in general. Okay. I subconsciously, when somebody laughs, I'll notice that I end up having the same laugh as they do. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I noticed, you know what, maybe that's why that's why I'm so versatile with a lot of selling situations, because I want people to like me and I naturally try to adapt or copy them so they feel more comfortable and like me. But that's what this is all about. Okay. Listening to somebody, understanding what their personality style is, and you don't have to go overboard with this. Some people do. We know who they are. Don't say who they are, Jesse. He's with EXP now and not with us. And we introduced him to EXP, that SOB. But anyway, you don't want to go overboard, but you do want to adapt to their tone, their rate of speech, their personality, what they say and how they say it. Okay. So if I get on the phone and it's somebody that obviously their first language is Chinese or something, but they're talking English, I kind of adapt to that a little bit. I don't talk Chinese, but I kind of talk a little bit the way they are. So they feel a little more comfortable. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jesse, why don't you tell us what amiable looks like and what they're all about?
So I'm going to say the number one characteristic of an amiable is they're agreeable because they do not like conflict. So these are the people, they will set an appointment with you just because they don't want to have a conflict with you. They'll say, you can come over. Yeah, well, let's get together. They're the people that will sign the contract and that will cancel because they're so agreeable. They don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. They do not want to rock the boat. We all know these people, right? They're good at hospitality. They're good at just making you feel, they want to make sure everybody has a voice and everybody feels welcome and warm and fuzzy. And, oh yeah. So they're very supportive. These are good, like, assistants, right? They make sure that they support you, that you're happy, that you're taken care of. And they're conscious of, hey, everybody's good here, right? We're all on the same page. Good. And so these people, you got to be careful. You have to be careful because then they'll waste your time just because they're so agreeable and they don't want conflict.
Yeah, and it says on here high empathy.
Yeah.
You know, I what that really means is, you know, they're gonna when you're in a conversation with them, they really react on feeling like, oh, this COVID thing has just been terrible. Oh, I know.
Poor people lost their jobs.
It's been awful. It really has, and it's, the surprising thing is, some industries that are doing really well right now are the real estate buyers and sellers. The people that are selling their homes are really doing well, and they're keeping us busy, and it's just a great feeling to have some industry that is doing well right now. So it's a perfect time to sell your home. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
And here's how you close, or here's how you get them to, first of all, you want to be empathetic with them. Team focused. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, they want to work with you as a team. They're very agreeable. They like to avoid conflict, so it's easy to get an appointment. Sometimes it can be very easy to get them to sign the listing agreement, my experience. And if they're also going to, if you don't make them feel good, there's a good chance you're not going to get the listing agreement. So you want to make them feel really good, comfortable with you, like you're on their side, you're on their team. You want to be very agreeable with them.
They need validation too. Like if you ask them a question like, hey, would you like to stage the home? And they're gonna be like, well, what do you think we should do? Do you think we should have an open? When do you think we should have an open? What are your thoughts? Like they want that validation. They really need it, and it makes them feel good.
Yes, it does. And they're gonna buy on the emotional feeling that they get. If they feel good about it, they're gonna work with you. Okay, so you just want to get along with them.
Do you use verbiage like that, Steve? Like, hey, wouldn't we would just love to help more people get into a home? Wouldn't you just love to?
Yeah. One of the things I do, Jesse, is, okay, so you're moving to Florida, and what takes you to Florida?
We just want our family to have more space and be happy and be closer to our grandparents.
Oh, that's great. So you've got family down in Florida, your grandparents and some other family down there?
Yeah, we miss them so much.
I imagine that you're really, really looking forward to being able to enjoy the family with good weather and have the kids running around all year round, and wow.
It would make them so happy.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I envy you. I envy you, definitely. Well, we'll make sure that we get you down there before the winter time. So let's make that happen for you.
That would make us feel so good.
Oh, it would. It's really hard for me to be that empathetic, but that's what you do. You want to listen to what their motivation is and really get them to feel happy and excited about what that is, and that'll get them to sign the contract. Ultimately, guys, listen. Ultimately, when you go on a listing appointment, you want them to sign the listing agreement, okay? We're not there to have a long conversation and a party or whatever it is, but in order to be successful at this, you have to have some versatility, and you have to understand that this is very, very important in the sales cycle to get somebody to actually sign the contract. It's going to mean the difference between you getting one out of every, 5 listing appointments you go on, or, one out of, 4 out of every 5. It really is. That's the difference. All right. So analytical. Oh,
these are the hardest ones to get to sign, right?
Yeah. So give me an example of an analytical.
Well,
what do they look like?
They want to know the facts. Oh my goodness. Everything. They've already read your listing packet. They've spit it up, chewed it out, dissected it, gone on Google, did a research, read every Yelp review. They want to make sure that they're making a logical, rational decision that makes financial sense, and just every basis is covered.
Right. This is your typical accountant, bookkeeper, engineer. Somebody like that is usually very analytical. I have my father's analytical. He's an accountant, and he's all numbers and facts driven. So how do you operate? Number one, you're going to want to as soon as you figure out they're analytical, you want to start throwing out numbers and facts and figures. Okay. Jesse, it's so your home didn't sell. Jesse, how many days were you on the market?
We were on the market. We signed a listing agreement for 90 days. We were on the market for 78 days, and we just canceled because it wasn't
Wow.
looking.
So you were on the market for 78 days in this market and you didn't sell.
Yeah, 78 days exactly.
Well, you know, that's interesting. I'm sure that you know that the market time in this area is less than 30 days. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you've looked at those numbers, correct?
We looked at the market average and we looked at the list price to sales price ratio. We've looked at all of that and we're frustrated.
Yeah, and that's that. You know, I'd be frustrated too, and that's exactly, you know, why clients hire me. I study the homes and the prices and the numbers every day. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to send you some info. You know, blah blah blah. You want to get when you set the appointment. Here's what's important. If you get the appointment, after you talk about, you know, the numbers and all the specifics, they're probably not going to want to have a long conversation because typically they're not very talkative. So you want to set the appointment and then let them know that you're going to send out a packet of information. And when you prepare that packet of information, this is going to be one that has graphs, as much BS as you can throw in there they're going to be able to analyze as possible.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean,
they're going to do it one way or another, right?
They're going to look at that stuff. So you want to get it out to them before you go out on the appointment. If you want to have some sanity, get that information out to them either via email or have it delivered to their house, a pre-listing packet with a lot of detail. All right. Then when you get to the appointment, you want to make sure that you're prepared because they are going to ask you specific questions about, you know, well, how many homes have you sold? You can use the, you know, EXP's numbers. You can use my numbers. I don't care. You can say you work for my team. You definitely want to focus on market statistics. They are going to ask you that stuff, and you want to convince them in a way that logically, analytically makes sense. Okay. You don't want to talk about the color of the paint or the open houses. You want to talk statistically about why they should hire you. This is what it looks like. You know, the average home that we list sells in 30 days or less. It typically sells for 98% of list price. And here is the process that we use to get the home sold. You should already have that 20-step process. All this information is in our website and our book. You should already have a pre-listing or a listing packet that spells that out, right?
100.
They are not going to, typically it's probably 50-50 that you're going to get them to sign the contract or the listing agreement on the first go around. But if you send out that information prior to going out and you present it in a logical, analytical way to them, your chances go up probably another, 40% more that you're going to get.
One little note here too about analytical is that a lot of times if they are talking a lot, it's because they're trying to gather data. They're trying to gather information. I've gone on appointments sometimes with analyticals and it takes the longest just because they're trying to get every little piece of data that they can. Oh, I need to know about this and what is the process? They want to know the process. Make sure you go over the process. Well, what happens next? And then what do you do? And then what do you do after that? And how do we know? And what about when we get multiple offers? And what if we don't? What happens? Make sure you go through the process because their brain needs to connect all those dots or they're going to be frustrated. So
Absolutely.
One little thing too I want to throw out in our book too. This is like my little cheat sheet for how to read somebody really fast. And it's simple. It's very simple. Are they fast or slow decision makers? And are they high or low emotion? That's a very quick way.
Is that, Jesse?
That's on page 75 in chapter number
75 works for me.
Yeah, it's in chapter 6. So a fast decision maker are going to be these people on the left, the expressives and the drivers. Slow decision makers are analyticals and amiables. High emotion are these people on the top, expressive and amiable. Low emotion is drivers and analytical. So that's kind of my cheat sheet for how do I read somebody in like 25 seconds. I look, are they high or low emotion? Are they a quick or fast or slow decision maker? That's kind of my way that my coach taught me. You know, he's got 30 years of sales experience, and he's like, you want to read somebody in 10 seconds? Just find out. Are they low emotion or high emotion? And do they make decisions fast or slow? And then you can put them in a box and kind of start tailoring your mirroring and your matching and your vocabulary and your verbiage towards that. Now, let me ask you this, Steve. What if there's a husband and wife and they're two different personalities?
Great question. I'm glad you brought that up, Jesse. There's always a more dominant personality style. So once you determine what personality style they are, you're going to know who's going to make that final decision. And Jesse, who are the more dominant ones? I would assume drivers and
analyticals usually. They're kind of, but they don't rule out it's sales. They still make an emotional decision and they justify it with logic. So you still got to connect with them. You still got to have some people.
Yeah, if there's two people sitting at the table, and it's very common, one of them's expressive and one of them's analytical or whatever it is.
Those opposites.
Definitely, you need to look at the man that's analytical and hand him the CMA or the numbers. Let him look at that while the wife is talking your ear off, and while you're talking about, oh my God, I love the colors and all this crap. That's what's going to happen. You have to relate to both of them. And in that case, in that situation, if you can get that expressive, if you can get her to buy into what you're saying and to feel good about the whole situation, they'll make the decision right there. He's going to want to wait and look the paperwork over, but she's going to eventually say, you know what, let's go with him. I feel like he's
good about him.
Happens all the time. You just got to know who to relate to. So guys and girls, guys and gals, this is next level stuff. This is the difference between 25 listings taken throughout the year for a top producer and 100. All right. Don't let it overwhelm you. If you want to learn more about this, read our book, but also read this book, Read Versatile Selling. It's not that thick. I mean, look at it.
100 pages.
Read this in a weekend and it's going to change your sales life. It really will.
It'll change everything in your life. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
I was with my mother-in-law like a month ago and she's having a hard time. And it was really just personality conflicts she was having with people in the family. I was like, you just need to stop and realize they're detail-oriented and you're not. And if you just let them have that, it'll help you in your marriage.
It really does help. It helps me with family relationships. I agree, because until I learned this, I didn't realize, my mom why is she controlling? She's expressive. That's her natural style. You're just going to have to deal with it and, listen to what she says every once in a while, or, why is my dad, the way he is? He's analytical. That's just the way he is. And, how do I relate to that? He's not going to get real excited when I'm excited about something. It's, let's talk about the stock market numbers or something like that, So guys, any questions? We've been talking a lot today. Any questions? Man. 3, 2.
We must have knocked it out of the park.
We killed this one, man. All right, guys, if you have anything else, let me know. Let Jesse or I know. We'll be happy to help. Have a great week. Thanks, Jesse.
Bam. See you, brother. Bye, guys.